had access to business jets, would it change your life? I have 22,000 followers out there, 100,000 people that have watched this series. And I want to know that if you were able to fly around on a business jet, what would that do for you? Hey, let's jump right in and get started because we're going to talk about this exciting conversation today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my co-host, Gabriel. Hey, Gabriel, how are you?
How's it going? Doing well.
Great, good. Gabe, tell everybody where you're located. I know you do every week and I make you do it, but just tell everybody where you're located.
We're in Seattle, sunny Seattle. It's a little bit warm today. But awesome. It's actually not too bad of a day today.
Awesome, very good. Yeah, we come to you from all corners of the earth here, and it's a lot of fun because we can connect people, here and there and everywhere. So listen, let me jump right in and tell you about our broadcast today. I'm going to put Gabe on the side here, and I have an exciting company that's coming in today called ETHJETS. And ETHJETS is a company who has leveraged NFTs and crypto and our desire to travel on business travel and make business jets available to you. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring in the co-founder and the CEO. His name is Nick Scott. And Nick Scott is currently an A320 captain. He has over 13,000 hours for 20 years flying. And he's flying for a major airline today. And we're going to bring him in and have some conversation all about, just this idea of business jets, ETHJETS, and just how it all came about. So let's go ahead and just bring him right in. So, hey, Nick, glad to have you here today.
How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing great. Hey, Nick, I hate to say this, but where did the call sign Moose come from? Nick Scott, aka Moose.
I wish there was like a really cool story behind it. But if anybody involved in the NFT space, you understand there's a thing called Discord, and it's like a big group chat function. And when I created the Discord for ETHJETS, it asked me like, what's your username?
Yeah.
And I was on an overnight in a hotel room and literally looked at the TV and there was a giant moose on the screen. So I'm just going to pick Moose. Had I known it was going to define me, this far into it, I would have picked like something way cooler, but it's just,
I don't know. I like it. It's like call sign Maverick. It's good. I love it. It's perfect. Yeah. Hey, Nick, as we get going here, could you just tell everybody who you are and what do you do? Just give them a quick summary.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on. My name is Nick Scott. I'm a current airline captain and have a little over 13,000 hours of flight experience and also the CEO and founder of ETHJETS.
Perfect, Nick. Hey, Nick, we always love to engage our audience, and I see we already have all kinds of people, a really large audience out there watching today. And you guys all know that I love to know where you're located, and I'm looking at the comments here. And if you would just drop a comment of where you're watching from, we would just love to know who's on the broadcast today. We have a lot of regulars that continue to show up, and sometimes the names don't come through, but I spent a lot of time down in Brazil, and we have a visitor from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Welcome, Brazil. And we have Anna Zita from Romania. Anna Zita, she joins us, quite frequently. Thanks for joining. And you guys know that it's also really a huge help if you'll share this live stream. We're passionate about aviation. We're passionate about digital. We want to get the word out. We want to actually help people. And what these broadcasts are doing, it's helping people to understand what's happening in the industry. And if you'll just share this broadcast, it really helps us, to get the word out. And just keep putting your names in the boxes here. We love to see who's here. And we have XRBOG from New Jersey. I'm not sure who that is, but we got a visitor from New Jersey. Fantastic. We have Rena. She's up in Toronto. Rena, I don't know how you've made it to every single broadcast, but I know you've made it to every single one. And I really appreciate your engagement and being part of it, every single time. That's fantastic. So, hey, as people continue to check in, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the conversation. People want to hear, about you, Nick. Nick, can you just tell us a little bit about your background? You gave us the quick synopsis, but tell us a little bit about your background and your journey and how you ended up doing what you're doing with ETHJETS. If you could do that for me, please.
Yeah, so I feel very fortunate. I was, one of those kids from a young age. I've been pretty much obsessed with airplanes and aviation. I can remember as a kid attaching a wagon to the back of my bike, and I would, not tell my friends this, but I'd offer them, a ride somewhere, and I'd secretly pretend I was a pilot, flying them around. So it's something that's been in my blood, a passion since I was a young kid. Was fortunate enough to get my pilot license in high school. And just, really hard charged aviation from the get-go, which led me to the current airline I fly for. Been flying for this airline for a little over 15 years. I'm a current line check airman. And so what's unique that a lot of people don't realize is when a new first officer gets hired at an airline, they send them through, a couple months of ground school training, and then they're in the simulator for a couple months. And these simulators are very realistic, but their first flight in a real plane is with real passengers, with a pilot like myself, a check airman captain. So that's always a lot of fun. Get to, be with them their first flight. And then, so aviation has always been my thing. And then I kind of got the crypto NFT bug about a year ago, and which led me into ETHJETS. So I was trying to find something that didn't exist and decided I'd create my own.
So Nick, I share your passion on aviation. I started flying when I was, I think about 13, something like that. I had my student pilot license when I was 15. And so when Nick and I originally connected, we had a great conversation. I just, I'm passionate about aviation. And then I find out that you're passionate about crypto and digital. And it was just really great to have you agree to come be part of this. So thank you. Hey, we're still checking in people here on the broadcast. Let me bring some more people in here. I know people love to see their name on the screen here. And we have Shaheem checking in from India. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And let's see, we have Isias. I'm sorry, I wish I could pronounce your name, in Mexico. Welcome, Mexico. I have Larry Little. Larry Little is my business partner. He's out there in Seattle, and glad to have you on board. We have Jean-Marc. He's with a company called SkyThread. And actually, SkyThread is going to be my guest on Monday, and we're going to be talking about their blockchain asset, program. So, Nick, one of the really cool things about when we've been doing this blockchain series is I have my vision has been expanded so much, and really I'm understanding there's so many things happening in the industry, with respect to blockchain, but it's really driven by the needs of the industry. All right, and so let's take a minute and talk a little bit about the industry. So, I'm going to quickly read something to you that I just pulled up off the internet this morning. And everything that we read on the internet is true. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. Is that, the global business jet market size was 25.87 billion in 2021. The market's projected to grow to 29 billion in 2022 this year, and then to 38 billion by 2029. So it's going from 25 billion to 38 billion by 2029. What do you think is driving some of that growth?
I think it's twofold. I think during the pandemic, one thing we saw is the rich got really rich, and that gap in what people made their income, it exponentially grew for a select group of people in this country. And then you add that into that fold, kind of and I hate to say it because I'm an airline pilot, but just the experience of flying on an airline these days is not that great. It's a stressful environment right when you get there through TSA and all the way onto the plane. So I think it's a twofold deal, the wealth going up. And that's another thing to note. I read a statistic recently that the airline premium travel market used to represent, they owned basically like a 90% share of that forever, and had recently lost 10%, which is a big deal. So they only represent now 80% of like the premium travel market.
Yeah, I can believe that. Hey, a couple of other, thoughts or comments on that. I've had a couple of guests on this broadcast, friends of mine's, business associates, and one of them is Mark Dismuke, and he's the executive vice president of sales at One Flight International out of Denver, and they operate, business jets. And, basically they have grown just dramatically. They've had record years of travel, in the last couple of years. And so we know that more and more people are traveling on business jets. And then another friend of mine, Renee Bangelsdorf, she was the president and CEO of Charlie Bravo Aviation. They help people buy jets, business jets, and sell them. And now she's running another business in conjunction. She sits on the board of Charlie Bravo Aviation. But, they've had record years on the sales as well. So, Nick, what we're seeing that because of the pandemic and because people want to have more convenient travel, because of the lack of efficiency in airline travel and, delays and cancellations and things like that, people want to have different alternative means for travel. So we definitely see there's a business problem, that exists. There's no question about that. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing too, is if anybody who's ever flown, a private jet and experienced that luxury, you're never going to want to go back to any first class on any airline. You can't match it.
So, usually what we do is we then talk about, well, where's the industry going now? And so now that we see there's this challenge where there's all this growth of demand, the challenge is that there has to be more aircraft delivered. And we know there's backlogs of aircraft deliveries, of course, but But then how do we satisfy that demand? That's kind of the next question. And companies like Charlie Bravo Aviation are helping people to buy jets, and people like OneFlight are helping people to be able to charter, jets. Now, how did you respond to that demand? What basically, what did you guys do?
What ETHJETS did is one thing I recognized right away is that private jet travel is very expensive. There's no doubt about that. And it's got even more expensive as the demand has increased. So last year alone, there were over $200 million in unfulfilled charter requests. So when you think of that in the scope of what it means, there were $200 million out there in requests that went unfulfilled. And so immediately I thought is, how can I bring something unique to what's been around for a long time and has worked very well, but also tie it and take advantage of the technologies, the Web3 space and crypto space.
Yeah, bringing crypto into it, and Gabe, I know that what happened actually was, like I said, about 3-4 months ago. Gabe and I were researching the different people that are involved in different aspects of blockchain and aviation, and Gabe, you came to me and you said, "Hey, you need to check out these guys, ETHJETS." I'm like, "Who?"
I remember I saw actually on YouTube, the first time I saw it was on YouTube, and I was like, we need to be reaching out to these people.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gabe, I know you had some questions for him about NFTs and kind of how that fits together. So maybe you could jump right in and just ask a few questions about ETHJETS itself and NFTs.
Yeah. First of all, let me just say this. I recently just did a flight from Seattle to Florida. And that's a rough one. And man, it would have been real nice to have some sort of opportunity like this to head over there on some ETHJETS. But like you were saying, it's been rough. So I see where this market is going, and we do like to talk about the utility of these things, right? We've had a few other people with utility NFTs on this broadcast, and we just want to talk about ETHJETS and its utility. And what can you just tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing about us, and that's what gets me so excited. Is our utility is making private jet travel affordable, and those are two words that you normally don't hear that go together: private jet travel and affordability. Because the demand is so high, obviously prices have gone up. And one thing that we recognize, and a lot of people don't realize, is anytime someone wants to charter a jet, so you want to go from Seattle to Florida. And you go to put out a jet charter request. And let's just say, simple math, it's a 5-hour flight, and the plane, they tell you it's $5,000 an hour. So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, it's $25,000. That's what my quote's going to be. But then the quote comes in and it's, $60,000. And you're like, wait a minute, what? Why is it so much more expensive? Well, 9 times out of 10, that plane is not where you're at. And so we've got to bring that jet or reposition that jet to you. And you pay for that. If we can't charter, if we don't have a flight coming in, then yeah, you're going to pay for that empty leg, a reposition leg, out to pick you up. And it's going to take you to Florida. Now, Florida's a hot spot, so we can typically charter a plane out of Florida to get it back to where we need it to be. But if we couldn't, we're going to try to get it as far or as close as we can to whatever the next trip is. And part of that will be built into the quote. And the reason I bring this up is that's where kind of my, the light bulb moment. I thought, how can we take advantage of these empty legs, but on a scale that, in a way that no one's ever really done it. And so with ETHJETS, our true utility is giving you access to those empty legs at 90+% off. And so our app, it's a revolutionary app, and I can't wait to talk more about that, but it'll actually give you live push notifications anytime an empty leg is put into the system, and you'll get a price for that. If you hold the NFT, though, you'll set up your account, and the account will verify that NFT is in your wallet. So there's a lot of technology behind the scenes going on, which is cool in itself, but it'll verify you own it. When it does, it'll give you access to reserve that jet. And so if you see an empty leg from Seattle, let's say to Florida, for simple math, say it's a 6-seater jet and it pops up for $1,200, you can reserve it. You pay for it right then and there, and you've got access to the whole jet. So you could go call 5 other friends if you want and say, hey, who wants to go to Florida? And you're looking at, however you want to pay for it on your end, that's your business. Because, whatever you want to do, but you're looking at, basically $200 a seat on a private jet, which is something that
That's
It's
amazing.
unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
You know, Nick, I talk to a lot of business owners, and you know, when we look at businesses, we say, what is the business function, and is it something that's in demand, and how will the business be successful? All right. And it's no different than when you're looking at someone who creates an NFT with utility, a utility NFT, is it's really a business is what it is. And so, you know, I know that many times when people have looked at NFTs, they go, oh, NFTs are art. And, you know, they sell for $2 million of an ape. Okay. You know, but the reality is that maybe NFTs originally came out being attached to things like music or art, you know, that were collectibles and things like that. But now we're seeing more and more and more that are being attached to specific utility. And Nick, I don't know if you caught it or not, but a couple of weeks ago, we had a guest on a company called TravelX, and TravelX created the first airline ticket NFT. And so what we're seeing in the industry is that there's legitimate expansion of NFTs into the industry where they're being used for specific business functions, and we call it utility, right? And that's what Gabe brought up is utility. So, the business utility sounds really strong. It sounds really, really good. That's really great. And listen, we're going to dig into that a little bit more deeper. But Gabe, the second thing that you always tell me that's the most important about, you know, when we look at a NFT project is what?
You know, you need a good team, right? So I've invested in, unfortunately, some projects that, you know, the team wasn't doxed. You know, it was probably not the most reputable team, but we see that you guys do have a pretty good team, and you're all doxed. And can you tell us about the team a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. I think anybody who's been in the NFT space for, like, we'll say longer than 3 months, you've been burned multiple times, and you've FOMO'd in hard to projects thinking it's the next big thing. So that said, being doxed is a term that is thrown around a lot in the NFT space. Not many founders or projects put their actual pictures and their faces and their real names. You know, it's just it's an image behind Moose, right? Instead of, well, my name is Nick Scott and I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And I'm an airline captain flying for a major airline.
Yeah, so I'm excited about our team. And one thing you'll notice with each person on our team, they fill like a very specific role, and they're an expert in that field. So we have Mason versus Lewis. He is got a huge TikTok, YouTube following, Twitter following. The thing that really drew me to Mason is I needed someone that really, really understood the crypto space better than I did. And I'd actually reached out to Mason a while back, and it took me a while before he would even talk to us. I kind of had to sell him on the project, because what people don't realize is these, you know, I hate to use the term influencers, but people of his status, you know, they get people reach out to them nonstop and ask them to pump their project in exchange for money. And that was one thing that Mason wasn't willing to do, which made me want him to be on our team that much more. And so Mason is actually on the team. He did not receive any compensation like a typical influencer or get paid to promote ETHJETS, because he believes in what we're doing. And like you said, the utility behind it, Mason is big on utility.
You know, I knew about Mason before I knew about ETHJETS, because, you know, he's so popular on, you know, social media, TikTok and YouTube, and he comes out with very valuable crypto blockchain tips every single day on his channels. And so just to the followers out there today, if you don't follow him, you need to, because he provides a lot of really good, solid information about, you know, the industry and what's happening and where things are going. And, you know, Gabe, I think you might have introduced me to him originally or something like that.
And
you know?
he's actually the one I found ETHJETS from. So yeah,
Wow.
so
okay,
good on him.
And then I see the next to the right, you have Meg, and tell us about Meg.
So Meg is amazing with socials, right? So she also has a lot of great content for crypto and NFT. Her big thing was finding projects where the founders, it was almost like she invests more in the founders than the project, because what we've seen are a lot of what we call rug pulls. These projects raise a ton of money, then the founders disappear overnight. And so Megan, I actually reached out to her initially just to handle our socials like Twitter and Instagram and all of that, because I'm absolutely horrible at it. I personally don't have any social media. So brought her on just to do that. But then the more insight she gave our team, I thought, do you want to be a part of it? Like more so than just, you know, sending out our tweets and helping us with that type of stuff. And so she agreed, and we're very much excited. She's got great content as well. So make sure.
Yeah, a while back I watched a series she did, which was 30 days understanding NFTs, and they're just really quick bites that go boom, boom, boom. And so it's another place you can learn about things like NFTs is by going to social media, to YouTube and things like that. So if you don't follow her on YouTube, you guys need to. So, Nick, I see you have some other technical or other members of the team. Can you tell us a little bit about them as well?
Yeah. So you see there, Sean, real quick. Sean is actually our chief creative officer. So everything art-wise you see came from Sean. I feel extremely fortunate to have Sean and his team. They did promotional work for United Airlines for their frequent flyer program, Wawa, UFC. Like, they've dealt with some big brands. And so everything they do is at a high level. And I couldn't be more happy to have Sean on the team. And then you've got our two guys. You've got OG Damon Dallas and Steady Freddy. Absolutely love these guys. So these guys are like our NFT, community gurus. And one thing you'll learn when you get into the NFT space is it flips the traditional business model upside down. Whereas in a typical business, it's all about the people, the bottom level workers, kind of working to support the higher level. And then that mid-level, the next level, they're all there to boost the profits of the CEO and just get paid. Where in the NFT world, everything is flipped upside down. And so me being at the top of my project, I'm here to support my team and the community. So I work for the community. I'm not there to get anything out of them. I'm there to provide something for them that's unique. And that's something that Damon and Freddie really brought. And so I wouldn't be, I'd also have to bring up our community. The community is awesome. It's very, very big on these NFT projects to have a strong community. You can't go out and buy fake followers. It's very real. And if you hop into our Discord, you'll see our community. They're amazing. They can answer 99% of the questions.
And who is Michael Lee?
And then Mike Lee. So Mike Lee, he's our lead engineer. He's doing all of the non-fun stuff behind the scenes with our app. Okay. He is an absolute genius. And the things he's putting in the app behind the scenes is amazing.
Great. Good. So utility, something that actually makes business sense, and a team, those are two really important parts. And so Gabe, I think you wanted to ask him to dig into, how does it work? Wasn't that the next thing?
That's what we're going to get into right here. So what do we've got multiple different passes here. Can you tell us about that and what the difference is and how many and what's going on here?
How does it work? Yeah.
So when we first started, originally it's going to do 10,000 passes like every NFT project. But like I talked about community, and I'll keep saying it again, you got to get tight with your community because they're your real voice, right? They know what is really going to happen with your project and what isn't. And the more we dug in, they said, hey, we'd much rather this be scaled down, a little bit more exclusive, rather than doing the traditional 10,000 NFTs like everybody else. And so we've narrowed it down to 3 different passes. We have our global pass. There's 1,500 of those. That's for a price of 0.59 ETH. And all these passes can be purchased on OpenSea, or you would just go to our website and there's links to direct you to that. So the global pass is going to give you discount pricing to charter a jet. Something new that we really haven't announced, but I'll go ahead and bring it out here. We are going to be implementing what we're calling jet deals with some of our jet partners, to where if you hold one of these passes, you're going to have the ability to book directly for a significantly reduced rate. And that is a full-fledged private jet charter trip. They pick you up where you want and take you where you want to go. So that'll give you access to that as a global member. The big thing is the empty legs. You're going to have access to those empty legs. That is the bread and butter really to this project and the most valuable aspect. But we also have a lot of people in our community that don't live in the US, because right now we have 5 jets. So we have 5 private jets. They're all 6-seaters that you're going to have access to for the empty legs. But what about the people in, Brazil, right? Or we have a lot of members in Australia. So we created what's called the community wallet. And so ETHJETS is really 2 different companies. It's ETHJETS, the NFT company, and then ETHJETS, the charter company. And so what we're doing, and what I found, was most of these NFT projects, they sell out, they raise a ton of money, and all they do is promise you some future metaverse or some merch or something along those lines, some kind of game, right? But they don't really give anything back. And so what we're doing with our community wallet is we're giving back, in the sense that, so every quarter, 10% of the profits from ETHJETS charter we will donate 10% of those profits to the community wallet. Now, if you hold an NFT pass, one of our passes, you're going to be able to promote the project, and we can legally pay you as a promoter to promote for us. And so we've developed just an API with Twitter that'll verify the tweet. And so it's super simple. So if you're a global pass member, you'll have the ability to promote one time every quarter, and you'll get paid an ETH from that community wallet to do so. So you'll get some type of return, but a big giant asterisk, nothing's guaranteed, and please read the terms of sale on our website. You go to the next pass, which is our captain membership. So there are 1,000 of those available. The price is 1.42 ETH. It gives you access to everything the global did. But on top of that, we give you 3x promotion for our community wallet, meaning every quarter you can promote the project 3 times and get paid 3 times in exchange for promoting the project. Both of these passes also are going to give you access to certain VIP events. It's no secret, right? Celebrities, musicians, they love private jet travel. I'm pretty close with a couple musicians. We've brokered some trips for some musicians who have shown a lot of interest in kind of bartering, some jet time in exchange for coming and doing an exclusive event. And so we're excited to be able to offer that to our members. And the only people that can get in are ETHJETS NFT pass holders. And then the third pass is the Top Gun pass. It gives you access to all of those 3 times promotional rewards. Those are currently sold out, and you can buy those on secondary. So on OpenSea, you can buy those from somebody else. I believe the cheapest one listed is 11 ETH right now.
11 ETH. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
So, I think that it's pretty, well, first of all, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, educational purposes only. We're talking about this, but you can just about guarantee that these things are going to go up in price.
Here's the cool thing is when we first launched this, and I've been like very much transparent, open, right? Like 70% of this project has changed since we started 6 months ago, based on feedback from the community, market conditions. When ETH tanked, now ETH's coming up, and you got to be able to ebb and flow with it. But what's exciting though about all of these passes is that you own it, right? And that's the beauty of an NFT. We had a member who bought a Top Gun pass the day it launched and resold it. I think he sold it for 8 or 9 ETH, and he bought it for less than 1 ETH. So there's some cool things. And there's a limited amount, and that's what's good, is exciting.
That's what we all hope for. Yeah, right. Hey, I like to keep recognizing the community out there. We're broadcasting live right now on Twitter and Twitch and on LinkedIn and YouTube and as many social media channels as I can go to. And so people are watching you out there. Community grown, privately flown. People are listening, so it's glad to hear that. So
that guy right there, his name's Bo. And he's got Maverick status in our Discord. He actually came up with that slogan. So we asked the community to come up with one and vote, and he won. And so that's cool to see Bo joining in here. But hey, so
we're definitely going to keep, we are definitely going to have some more conversation going on. But if you guys have questions out there, now's the time to ask these questions because we're live, and I like to take live questions. And so just drop them in the comment box. I'm watching here right in front of me. And if you have a question, we'll try to throw it up there, on the screen. So Nick, let's kind of go to the next piece of this is that, listen, I want to talk about the industry just for a second. People are a little bit unsure. And people say, well, the market is up and down, and last couple of days crypto is going back down again, and they're saying, is it really going up? And I always like to address that because only about 19% of the people in the US last year were actually holders of cryptocurrency, which means that's less than, that's like less than 1 in 5 people, right? And people look at the markets and they start hearing this more and more and more, and they hear Coinbase, partnering with BlackRock, and we hear people like, people buying into it. And so just what's happening in the market, and should people be fearful about buying cryptocurrency and buying into something like this?
I think with anything, the biggest, and this is from personal experience, the one thing you don't want to do is join in out of fear of missing out on the next big thing, right? Because what you're going to notice is the market goes up and it goes down. So whatever you put it in just like you'd go to a casino, whatever you're willing to lose in the crypto market. Now that's what I think makes our project unique on the NFT side, is our NFT isn't based on the price of ETH or the market in the cryptocurrency market. It's got a real world utility asset tied to it. And that's what's exciting. So, you know, a lot of projects are tied to the crypto side and what's going on with that world, where ours is tied to, you know, a real world asset of 5 jets that are going to be, you know, producing a resource for us.
Thanks for that interruption from a spam caller. I apologize for that. Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
No. So that's a very important aspect of it. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Listen, this is really, really important is that, first of all, you know, those of us that really believe in cryptocurrency, I really believe that it's moving forward, and it's getting traction. It's going to be successful. You know, we're going to see digital currency in the world. But what's happening here on this project that makes it really exciting, I myself am looking at tokenization of real assets and tokenization of projects which basically give utility and return. And so, you know, what you've just done is you've just joined together a business function, a utility, you know, with this concept of cryptocurrency. And, you know, you could basically be selling paper certificates and get this same concept going. But what we've done is we've brought together the excitement of the cryptocurrency market, the new ability to be able to buy and sell and have liquidity, you know, on our certificate, basically on our NFT, and then bringing it together with real solid utility and a business plan, which, you know, to me, that just makes really, really perfect sense. It just brings it all together.
It's exciting because you own it, right? So if you live somewhere and you're like, hey, I really wish there were empty legs here, but I've, you know, it's been a year, Nick, and there just aren't any, you know, many empty legs coming up to where I live. You could turn around and sell it because there's somebody else who's going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. So I hope you make money on it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Gabe, there's a third thing which you sometimes tell me that we need to really pay attention to. And it's in business, it's the utility, of course, but you tell me that we need to pay attention to the future roadmap. So do you have any questions for Nick about, you know, the roadmap and where the project is going?
Yeah, I do. Are you guys planning to do additional different passes, or is this going to be it, or do you have anything so far that you've got going on, or?
Yeah, so the roadmap is a big deal. And our initial plan when this got going was, all right, we're going to sell these memberships. We're going to use that funding to go buy a G4 SP. And then we're going to put that G4 out on charter certificate and then allow our members to access empty legs on our plane. What happened is, and we kind of undervalued the technology aspect within our app and kind of what we can provide. And it really wasn't until recently, it was actually we were on a phone call, right? When I had told you about it. You know, I said, hey, I can't make this week because something big is going to happen. And that big thing is we were able to secure access to 5 jets. So we were able to bring, you know, more value to our holders, because the one thing that a lot of people would say is, hey man, I love the idea, but I'm basically buying this in hopes that you come through on your end and buy a jet. So until then, I'm going to hold off. And I totally understand that. And that was a problem I was trying to solve. And so being able to solve that with not 1, but 5 jets right out of the gate. So we've got these 5 jets now waiting for us, basically for our app to finish up and run through all the testing processes. But so yeah, we're able to bring 5 jets now.
Hey, Nick, I like to answer people's questions as they come in, and somebody on LinkedIn, you know, basically said, hey, how many airplanes do you operate and which models? So maybe just get down to the next level of specifics on that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So the plane that we're going to be purchasing is a G4 SP. The 5 partner jets that we brought in are going to be a mix between Piaggio Avantis, which are a 6-seat jet. It's a push jet prop, and then a CJ2. The cool thing about the Piaggio Avanti jet, I think it looks cool, but 2, the cost. And the reason why it's a big deal is it flies the exact same speed as the CJ2. The cabin is bigger and more comfortable, but it burns 40% less fuel than the CJ2. So you're looking at lower costs to operate. And the carbon footprint is over 70% greater than what it reduces compared to another jet of its kind. So what does that mean for our empty leg holders when we talk about 90+% off? Well, this 6-seat Piaggio is going to be a lot cheaper than the 12-seat Gulfstream jet that we're purchasing in terms of the empty leg travel. And so I actually see those planes flying more empty legs and people hopping on those more as we continue to grow and bring on new partners.
So Nick, what I'm understanding then you're saying is that the original plan was to go out and buy, run the NFT project, go out and buy some jets. And then, but basically people were going to have to wait. And then you realized that this empty leg situation existed, and you created a partnership, which you've already closed with somebody, to make 5 jets available right now, immediately. And so immediately to people that are NFT holders, they're going to be able to have the opportunity to buy into the empty legs, right? Okay. Or get a discount on charter flights themselves specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a meeting yesterday with our jet partner. We plan on bringing in what's called just jet deals, where he's going to push them out, special pricing to each NFT holders. So if you live in Florida, the example he gave me was, West Palm Beach up to Teterboro. He said he'd typically sell that for about $20,000, but he'd be willing to push that on our Jet Deal app for like $13,000.
Okay.
And so that would be an example again. And the reason I brought up the pricing is just so people know that like it is expensive. It's not cheap. But what is cheap is that plane coming back empty, or repositioning from Teterboro to somewhere else empty. That notification will get pushed to you, and you'll get to book that, at a fraction of the cost.
Nick, you said what your target price point was for the empty legs earlier. I want to make sure people heard what you said. What did you say that target was?
The target's 90+% off. And so we're trying to drive that down even lower and find savings where we can. But 90+% off for any private jet, because empty legs isn't like a new revolutionary thing. There are companies that offer it. ExoJet offers it, and they have a great company, but it's not cheap. Their empty legs are pretty expensive, and they'll offer seats, and their seats are still more expensive than what we're going to charge for the entire jet.
Yeah. Hey, Gabe, what other questions do you have about the crypto aspect of the project?
Pretty much just we're going to be using ETH to purchase these. It's all on OpenSea. Is there you guys have a wallet? What exactly? Is it all purchased on OpenSea?
Yeah, so we were minting live through a smart contract. What we found is, there are people that are crypto savvy. They knew how to do it. It was a very easy process for them, but there are a lot of people that are new to this space. And so OpenSea is a great resource. And I explain to people, OpenSea is kind of like the eBay for NFTs. We can list something. You can log on as the user and view everything, and then purchase it directly in OpenSea. It makes the transaction very smooth. We're working on implementing a function to where people can pay with like a credit card or debit card, other than ETH. But yeah, right now you need some type of crypto wallet, and you need ETH in that wallet to purchase these passes.
Yeah. And Nick, one of the reasons that we're doing this series on blockchain and aviation is because what I said, less than 20% of the people in the US hold crypto. And this is a growing, expanding market. And we want people to learn, we want people to understand, and we want people to benefit from the value of what's coming from this. And so, we've been helping people, and I see the videos, that your team has and what they do, and they're constantly helping people understand the market, understand NFTs, understand how to use it. Gabe is passionate about it. Gabe and I did a session a couple of weeks ago, just showing people how to create a wallet and how to, buy crypto and how to transfer it. And, so we are absolutely committed to training and education and helping this market grow, because we want people to get the value of accessing the blockchain in this space in aviation. We really want for that to be a success.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. I think the future, it's coming. It's like telling somebody about the internet back in 95.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. Hey, we got a few more of my regulars who have joined the broadcast. We have Rosemary. She's there in Hobart, Washington. Rosemary, thanks for joining. And then we have Richard Scarborough. Richard and I talked on the phone a few days ago, and great guy. He works for an airline, and he does a little bit of writing on the side for Flying Magazine. So you guys should check out his articles, out there in the future. Really appreciate people joining and following the broadcast. Hey, Nick, if people want to continue this conversation with you, I got a little slide here. Let's pop that up. Maybe you tell people a little bit about how to get in touch with you or with ETHJETS.
Yeah, so the best way, the initial contact for all of this, and I need to get this out, right, is there's a ton of scammers out there, especially on a project like this at a high level. We've had a lot of attacks and things like that. So anything that you click on, make sure you click on it from our website directly, which is ETHJETS with an S, and it's ETHJETS.io or ETHJETS.com. Those are our two sites that we own. When you get to ETHJETS.com, you'll see in the top right corner there's some icons. That one on the far right is going to be OpenSea. So that's going to take you directly to OpenSea. if you want to purchase the passes. As you move left, you'll see there's our official Instagram, official Twitter, and then the one that's on the furthest to the left is what's called Discord. And the reason I bring up Discord is it's basically like a modern day like AOL chat, right? For those of you old enough to know what it is. It's a great function. It's a great way for us to talk to you directly and also get to know the community. And so I definitely recommend get to our website, hop onto Discord and join, introduce yourself. And when you get into that Discord, any questions you have, you will be able to get answered from somebody in Discord, whether it's myself, someone on the team, but like 99% of the time, it's going to be one of the community members that already knows the answer. And they're going to pop up and tell you, where to go or the answer to it. So.
Hey, Nick, let me reinforce that because, even myself, and I think maybe Gabriel, we've fallen, victim to scams, out there. And if you're not really, really careful, you can end up doing something which can be costly to you. Like, for example, people out there will misspell something on purpose. Like maybe they'll go out there and create a Discord called ETHJETS, singular instead of plural or something like that. And then you'll click on it and you'll go there and you'll find out that you went to the wrong place and it'll be a virus or something like that. And so just really pay attention to what Nick said about, the links. Look, there's links here on the screen, which you can type in, but the safer way is to do what he just said, go to ETHJETS.io and click on the icons on his website. And then for certain that you're going to their official links as part of the project. That's just really an important part of security when we're dealing with cryptocurrency.
Absolutely. And the exciting part with our app, and I can't wait for people to see the app. It looks beautiful. If you go to our Twitter, we've given some teasers of it. But with the app, we're going to make that kind of like the one-stop shop. You're going to be able to download the app. You'll be able to view our flight deals, book the jet deals, book the empty legs. But there's also going to be at some point, probably version 4 or 5, a chat function where we basically create our own Discord in the app. That way we control that environment. And so people can talk in there and plan trips, or if there's an empty leg that pops up and hey, does anybody want to go halfers with me on Miami to New York today, type of deal. So I'm really excited about it.
Very good. Nick, I just have to say you're living our dream is what you're doing. You're an airline captain in aviation. You're dealing with digital, you're dealing with cryptocurrency, and you're flying around on private jets. What is that about?
No, it's thankful for my beautiful wife, married almost 19 years, and my 2 kids, 16 and 13, for putting up with me because I've got a lot of energy. So they're thankful for that.
Congratulations. Well, hey, listen, thanks for joining today. And Nick, for those out there, let me see if there's any other questions before we go, from there. We got just one more comment from one of your guys out there. Mike Lee is the man putting unbelievable work on this project. So I appreciate your feedback. That must be one of the guys from your Discord, eh?
Yeah, we put this link in the Discord, and that's what's funny. Half the people on our project, Mike's from Canada, Meg's from Canada, Mason's from Canada. So half of the people on our team are from Canada. So when you say "hey," I'm like, awesome. That's funny. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I'm really glad to hear that. All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody. And Nick, I really appreciate you joining today. And hey, before I wrap this up, I just want to, I always want the focus of the broadcast to be on my guest, but I always like to, at the end, bring up something about what we're doing here. And just really quickly, here in DigitalAircraft, we're really focusing on helping people to be successful in digital and aviation. And we're on every one of these social media channels that are out there, on this screen here. Our primary broadcasts and the work that we do are LinkedIn. And we are passionate about digital, passionate about aviation. And our series for the last 7 weeks, going to be a total of 8 weeks, has been focused on blockchain and aviation. And so follow us and, learn more about blockchain and how it's going to affect your life, especially if you're in aviation. And then briefly, upcoming this week, we have a company called Skythread on Monday. And then I have another company on Wednesday called Ramco, who's providing advanced digital in the aviation space. And then we're going to have a debate, a blockchain debate on Friday. And then we have one more week after that. So we have a great lineup coming up, and people have been giving me a tremendous amount of feedback, telling me that they've been very interested in the content and the subject, and it's really been helping them. And I'll tell you one thing, is just like what happened with us, Nick, is that I didn't even know you existed until I was giving more examination to this, all right? And so I'm challenging all of you out there that are involved in blockchain and in aviation is dig in deeper, all right? We're trying to open your eyes and help you understand that there's a whole world out there of blockchain that's growing. and it has to do with crypto, and it has to do with applications, that are helping create efficiency in the industry. And what I'm passionate about is for efficiency in the industry so that we can connect, and we can connect with people just like we're connecting right here, right now. Nick, look we've connected with people all around the world in the last 45 minutes. And it's amazing that there's probably another 2,000-3,000 people that have got your message just in the last 45 minutes. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your vision and your passion with us, because it helps us get enthusiastic and fired up.
I appreciate it. And one thing to note too, for those people that aren't in the US, we do plan on expanding, especially with the Gulfstream. It's a global aircraft, and bringing on additional partnerships as well. Once we've proven this concept here in the US, we can start reaching out overseas and see who else we can bring on. So you don't just have to live here in the United States to be a part of the ETHJET family.
Awesome. Fantastic. So join the Discord, learn more, stay in touch, and go out and get that NFT, that ETHJET NFT, before they're all gone. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining. Fair winds and following seas to you. And I look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast, which will be Monday. Bye for now.